Alright, so welcome to lesson 7 here, ladies and gentlemen. And in this lesson, we're going to go ahead and start doing our leg connections. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change this a little bit here. You obviously see that we have a joint chain for our reverse foot control locks. And I'm going to go ahead and change this a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead here and select the joints. And I'm going to go ahead and delete these. And you will see that this is also gone and deleted the actual IK handle here. Okay, so we need to go ahead here and just jump in and redraw our IK handle system. And we're just going to use the RP solver. So we'll go ahead and just redraw this out real quick. Okay, do the same thing here for the right side. Okay, and we're going to make these a little bit more like the arm connections here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and bring our foot geometry back here. And we'll go ahead and delete this layer real quick. Come up here to my personal shelf, and I'm going to go ahead here and bring in another control curve here. And we'll go ahead and just rotate this 90 degrees. Okay. And we'll go ahead and snap this to what is this joint here at the bottom. And we'll go ahead and scale it down here and just try to get it in the correct position real quick. Okay, just scaling this up just a little bit. Go ahead and freeze the transformations on that as well. Go ahead and duplicate this, and I'm just going to simply mirror this in the X direction. Okay, so we'll go ahead and freeze the transformations there, just making sure that we've done that for both of these. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and start doing my leg connections, and for the last, let's go ahead and just color these real quick as well, just so we know what's what here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and rename these as well. So we'll call this CC left foot rotator, and we'll do this the same thing for the right side here. We'll call this CC right foot rotator. Okay, and we just want to go ahead and select our foot geometry, and you can basically parent that to this if you want. You don't necessarily have to for right now, but I want to make sure that I'm going to have the ability to set up the connections correctly, so that we're going to have like a foot sway, a foot pivot control as well. Okay, so easiest way that we can do that here is you can see that we have them already on the actual control curves here, and just making sure that we have the right amount of attribute control here, and it looks fine. Okay, so turn those back to 0. Our foot roll should be fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and just parent these to those control curves real quick. Okay, and then we'll select this control, and we're going to go ahead here and actually parent it to this second joint. Okay, so now even though we have that selected, we can go ahead and still rotate this, but we don't want to have the ability to actually translate it, so we're going to need to lock those as well. Okay, so just selecting that, we'll go ahead and parent this to that second joint here as well. Okay, and we just need to make sure that we take a look and find our IK handle here, which is on the inside portion of the foot. You can see that that's actually going to move correctly now, so we'll just go ahead and parent that to what is the box. So now our foot's going to basically move with the leg. So we'll do the same thing here on this side, just selecting the IK handle here, and you can see it right there, and we'll go ahead and parent that to the box. Okay, and you can see where that's actually going to move now correctly. Okay, so let's go ahead here and do our set driven keys for Bender here. So we just need to come up to animate, set driven key set. We're going to load this first main leg control as our driver, and we're going to load this control as our driven. Okay, Now the first thing that we want to do is our foot sway. So we just have to figure out, well, which direction do we want it to sway. So this is going to be our sway control. So we're going to be rotating in the Y direction here. So making sure that we select our Y direction, we'll go ahead and key that. Okay, take this up to 10. Take our foot control here, and we'll just select how much do we want to rotate it here. Say that's going to probably be enough sway. So go ahead and key that. Take our leg control, foot sway down to -10, reselect, and we'll go ahead and do that for our other side. Okay, so now we're going to have, if we select our leg control, you can see where our foot sway is going to work properly. Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn that to 0. Okay, select our leg, do our heel control, and we're just basically going to rotate here. So we want to go ahead and select our leg, and we'll go ahead and load that as the driven. Just making sure that we rotate it in the Y direction. So we'll go ahead here and key that at 0. Okay, select our leg control, turn our heel control all the way up to 10. Select our leg. Let's go ahead and rotate this something like that. That should be good. Go ahead and key that. Take our leg control down to -10. Select our leg again. Go ahead and key that. So now we have our heel control. Okay, and now we also want our foot roll, and we're going to simply do that with the new control curve that we've gone and added in here. So we'll go ahead and load this as the driven. Select our foot roll, just making sure that we're going to be rotating in our X direction here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and key it at 0 there. Take our leg control, take our foot roll all the way up to 10. Select our foot rotator here. Just rotate that, say that's going to be enough there. So go ahead and key that. Take our foot roll down to -10. Select our foot control. Go ahead and rotate that back up, say that way. Go ahead and key that. So now if we take a look here at our foot master control, this is also going to work. Okay, so we'll go ahead and set this to 0. And we're basically just going to repeat the same process here for the right side. So select our leg control, load that as the driver. Select our foot rotator, load that as the driven. Okay, take our foot sway, and we want to rotate this in the Y direction here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and key that. Take our foot sway, turn it all the way up to 10. Select our rotator. Go ahead and key that. Take this down to -10. Go ahead and key that out as well. Okay, just turn that to 0. Select our heel control, making sure that we select our main leg. We're obviously going to be rotating this in Y again. Okay, so we'll go ahead and select Y. Go ahead and key that. Select our leg control. Take the heel control all the way up to 10. Go ahead and rotate this as we need here. Key. Take the right leg control, turn this to -10. Rotate in the opposite direction here. Go ahead and key that. Take our leg. Take this, and just making sure that it's going to work. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and take our foot rotator again. Go ahead and load that as the driven. So we're going to do our foot roll here. This is going to be in the rotate X axis. Okay, so we want to make sure that we select that. Go ahead and key that. Take our CC right leg main. Go ahead and turn that up to 10. Go ahead and rotate this as we need there. Key it. take this to -10, and we'll go ahead and rotate this out as well. Probably a little bit more there. Key that, and just making sure that that's going to work, as you can see. Okay, we'll go ahead and turn that to 0. And basically there is our control rig, and now all we really need to go ahead and do here is just do some outliner cleanup here. Okay, and I'm going to walk you through doing that right now. So let's go ahead here, and we're not going to basically parent the eyes here, and I'm going to show you why here in a minute, because we're actually going to be using a parent constraint on that so that we can actually have the eyes follow the head or the rig. Okay, so we want to take all of these controls, same with the LL leg, the LL elbow, the L arm, the L knee, the body, and we will go ahead and shift select the master control, and we'll go ahead and parent those controls to that. Okay, and now you can see where that rig is going to move for everything except for what is the eye control here, and we also get scaling here. Okay, okay, so now we can go ahead and probably do our stretchy limb setup as well. So let's go ahead here and just add our geometry to a layer here. And you can see that our IK handles are still there. So let's go ahead and add this to our layer as well. Okay, so the easiest way to go ahead and add a stretchy limb setup, both for what is the arms and for the legs, is you can just simply download a script from Creative Crash if you want, and I'll also include this in the project files. So we'll just go ahead here and select the IK. Make sure that it's going to be in the translate control. Okay, do the same thing here for the right side. Just grabbing the IK, hitting stretchy. And we just need to go ahead and add our foot controls to this layer so we can select the IK handles. And we'll go ahead and add that as a stretchy. Okay, do the same thing there for the right side. Okay, so now that we have basically stretchy controls. Okay, and we'll just need to basically go and select that new IK handle and parent that to the main foot control. So now you can see that we're going to have stretchy control here. We need to do the same thing here for the right side. Go ahead and parent that as well, just by hitting P to parent it. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and select this IK handle, select the arm control, go ahead and parent that. Select that IK handle, go ahead and parent that. So now you can see that we definitely have stretchy control here. And this is going to be tied in with the stretchy limb system that's actually on these control curves. Okay, so I want to go ahead and make sure that that's going to work properly. So we need to set up the connection here. And if you look in our outliner, it has added all of our stretchy controls here, which right now will not work with the actual scaling of the rig. And this is just a parenting problem, and we can go ahead and fix that here in a minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump back a step here, making sure that our rig is actually scaled up properly. So we'll go ahead and select our main arm control here, and we'll come over here to Window, Connection Editors. We'll go ahead and reload that in the left, and we need to just make sure that we select this IK handle, reload this in the right. Okay, take our stretchy limb and connect that. You can see that that turns off our stretchy limb. So we'll do the same thing here for the right side, just reload that in the left. And let me go ahead and just move this over a little bit here. Selecting our IK handle there, reload that in the right. Stretchy limb to stretch. Okay. Just grab this control, reload it in the left. Grabbing that stretchy limb IK handle, reload that in the right, stretchy limb to stretch. Okay, reload our control there. Grabbing the IK handle here, reloading that in the right, and stretchy limb to stretch. So now all of our stretchy limbs are set up properly, so you can see we don't have any stretch here. But if we go ahead and turn this on, we have stretch. And you can see that if I now try to scale the rig, that this isn't necessarily working properly. And that's just simply a parenting problem. Okay, so we need to make sure that we have all of this correctly set up. So just select all of these, shift select our global control, and we'll parent all those to that. So now if we go ahead and stretch our limb out, our stretch actually works correctly. And you can see that our eyes control aren't necessarily working as well, scaling with the rig. And we'll need to go ahead and clean that up. Okay, so all you really need to go ahead and do here is I want to create another group, which is going to be our Bender Master GRP. I'm going to take all of these, okay, put these into this Bender Master control group. Okay, select our global master control, control select our eyes main, and we'll just do a scale constraint. So now this is going to scale properly with the rig. Okay, but you can see that it's not parenting with the rig, as you can see. And to do that, since we have a eyes control, eyes follow control on our head, okay, we need to take our eyes control, or our head control, eyes control, and I want to go ahead here and parent this, parent constrain this. Okay, so now whenever we take and scale this, our eyes are going to be moving with the rig as well. Okay, and we want to make sure that I have that connection and ability to turn it on or off. Okay, so we're going to go ahead here and jump up to our Windows, General Editors, our Connection Editor. We're going to select our head control, reload that in the left direction. Okay, select our eyes controller, take our parent constraint, and I don't think that this is actually going to load in the right here correctly. Nope, so we need to go into the hypershade, and with this selected, we'll just go ahead and graph it, and now you can actually see the parent constraint here. So we'll select it in our hypershade, and now we can go ahead here and reload it in our connection editor. So we'll just take our eyes follow control, connect it to our CC underscore head W0, which is the weight of the parent constraint. Okay, so now this is actually going to follow the body, as you can see here with this off. And if we go ahead and turn this on, you can see that this is actually going to go ahead and follow the control here. Okay, so we just need to go ahead and edit that attribute. So we'll go ahead and close those two windows, come up here to modify, edit attribute, and our eyes follow. So we just need to basically switch these around. So select the body, and we'll call this free. Okay, take our eyes follow, indie, and that's going to be body. Okay, so now if we go ahead and do that, you can see where that's going to be connected to the body. Okay, and free, you can see now where that's actually not connected. Okay, so we'll just leave that at the body for the moment. And now I think we're pretty much done. We just need to go ahead here and connect our master controller to our smooth controller here. So I want to go ahead and just turn off all of our NURBS curves, turn off all of our joints, turn off our IK handles, and you can see where we still have these little connection handles here. Go ahead and select these, and we will go ahead and add those to their own layer here. Go ahead and smooth select everything, or select everything hitting 3 on my keyboard. I'm going to hit modify, convert smooth mesh to polygons, and this is going to add all the smooths that we need for the body. Okay, so come back here and turn on our NURBS curves, and we're going to connect our poly smooth face to our Bender master controller here. And the easiest way to typically do that is just do it through your connection editor. You would just select, poly smooth face with a star, so that it's going to connect all those poly smooth faces. But there's actually an easier way for me to go ahead and do that here. And this is just a script that I'll also include this one as well. So we'll just select our attribute connection, ABT, which is from an artist called Super Crumbly, who is an absolutely fabulous artist. So we'll select our Bender master controller, select our smoother control, load that in. We just need to come up here to our select by name here, poly smooth face, and we're going to use the star to make sure that it's going to select all of them. As you can see here, set connected attributes. We'll do this to the poly smooth face. Now whenever I hit connect here, you're going to see that the actual geometry is going to change here, as you can see, and we have all of those now set up so that we can go from animation to rendering to bite my shiny smooth metal ass mode. Okay, and that's actually it for our rendering. You'll also notice that I didn't really set up any materials yet, and I'm going to be doing that in our next lesson. And we're also going to be adding a bunch of different assets for the Bender rig, which I've modeled out specifically for this tutorial. So our rig is pretty much completely done here. And come on back and we will go ahead and continue working, and we'll go ahead and start adding all the assets into the rig, which will probably take us a good hour and a half to go ahead and do. And yeah, come on back.